got like butterflies in my stomach with this Champions Trophy approaching.
This is where it gets tricky for us because there are definitely going to be some disagreements.
No other game generates as much money as India versus Pakistan. Whilst India have had the upper hand, Pakistan are never a walkover, despite what Harbhajan Singh says.
As much as I'm an Indian fan and a Bumrah fan, and I would say right now to you, Behram, that I have my hat off for Wasim Akram.
I think like Imran Khan might be top 3 cricketers of all time.
I can't ignore what Kapil Dev did though.
And I feel like Imran the bowler was better than Kapil.
Right guys, we're watching Agree to Disagree. This is a game that we just started doing before the big blockbuster clash, which is India-Pakistan. And who, of course, to call upon this one? And Behram Qazi, who's, of course, plying his Pakistan trade. First up, how are you feeling before the big day?
Well, I mean, I've got like butterflies in my stomach with this Champions Trophy approaching because A, Pakistan is hosting it, and then B, Pakistan are defending their title. And they're just one of those teams that you really never know what to expect from. So, yeah, I mean, it's all over the place, and that's just how I like it before any ICC event.
Now, India-Pakistan, they're always going to be statements thrown around, and we're going to either strongly agree, strongly disagree, or disagree in terms of these topics, right? So the producer have given me 5 questions to, of course, quarrel with Behram. And the first one goes something like this. India versus Pakistan still remains cricket's biggest rivalry. Where do we stand on that?
Well, if you look at the financials, strongly agree, right? Because no other game generates as much money as India versus Pakistan. And I feel like it's got the most eyeballs on it. Forget like people from India and Pakistan. The entire cricketing world has their eyes locked on the screen when these two teams play each other. And yes, you could say that perhaps in the last decade or so, India versus Australia is a rivalry that has emerged and the competition is sturdier. But India versus Pakistan is also a fixture that doesn't really happen frequently. It's like an annual ICC event fixture. So, I mean, I think the hype is very much real. And whilst India have had the upper hand, Pakistan are never a walkover, despite what Harbhajan Singh says.
Okay, let us know if you guys agree with us. We're both on the same team in this one. Statement number 2, and this is where it gets tricky for us because there are definitely going to be some disagreements. Now, Jasprit Bumrah is a better bowler than Wasim Akram.
Ah, man, this is extremely tough. I think it's fair to wait till Bumrah retires to kind of come to a conclusion. But based on his trajectory right now, where he is brilliant across all formats, the conditions don't matter. Neither does the opposition, honestly. Like, Bumrah is otherworldly when it comes to his skill set and his execution. I'll go with a soft agree.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a tough one for me as much as I'm an Indian fan and a Bumrah fan. And I would say right now to you, Behram, that I have my hat off for Wasim Akram because not only did he did it in the day where you actually saw the best batters ply their trade, but he just revolutionized left arm swing. I want to give the edge to Wasim Akram here because uncanny action as well. Both of them had uncanny actions. And I think as much as I like Bumrah, it's funny how you're going Bumrah and I'm going Akram. And we're not
I love that.
No,
I think Bumrah's peak is greater, whereas Wasim has a longer time span and he evolved with time. And if you think of late career Wasim Akram with the short run up, and even when he'd lost a few clicks, he was, if not like, he was almost as devastating, if not more, right? So you've got to give that to him for sure.
I agree, absolutely agree. Let's see if you sit in the fence with this one or we agree again, because this is about greatest all-rounders and potential captains. Now, the statement goes, Imran Khan was a better all-rounder and captain than Kapil Dev.
I'm going to have to go strongly agree on this one. I think like Imran Khan might be top 3 cricketers of all time because there was a period in between 1981 to 91, if I'm not wrong. Maybe I've got the dates wrong or whatever, but in that 10-year period, Imran Khan played around 51 test matches and he averaged under 20 with the ball and over 50 with the bat, which is an incredibly long peak to have or experience. And I feel like Imran the bowler was better than Kapil, and Kapil the batter was more enterprising, but Imran has better numbers. And Imran the captain was someone who kind of gave birth to an entire cricketing nation in terms of them feeling strong about themselves, right? Like people would idolize him to the point where they would grow out their hair and everyone wanted to be like Imran Khan. So I think he left a larger imprint on the game. No doubt that Kapil is high up there, right? It's not like he's like a normal average Joe. No, Kapil Dev was an exceptional cricketer and all-rounder. But I'd have to give this one to Imran because when I think of greatest all-rounders, I think Sobers, Imran, Callis. That's how the order kind of goes for me.
Imran Khan was phenomenal. What he did in 1992 was just brilliant. The fact that he even kind of changed it in the final to come in and bat one down and make moves like that, which is not normally applauded for, but he got it right in the day. I can't ignore what Kapil Dev did though, bro. Like I feel like 1983 is such a watershed moment in cricket. And the fact that he had so many important parts to play in that World Cup, the 175 against Zimbabwe stands tallest. But generally, I think Kapil Dev, probably has more of an impact than Sunil Gavaskar in my mind. So I don't know how Indian fans would take this. Both, again, cut from a different cloth, Imran and Kapil. But look, with my badge over here, I would go Kapil, and I know why you'd go for Imran.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, you have your own reasoning. I feel like based on cricketing skill purely, he edges out Kapil by a few notches. But that's not to say, like, I'm just rating Imran really highly. Kapil is also, like, phenomenal as a cricketer.
The statement reads, the fourth one, and agree to disagree, Behram, India will win 2 ICC events before Pakistan will win their next. Outrageous.
So, see how this is tough, is that Pakistan have never been an out-and-out consistent team, and they've pretty much won everything. I think Pakistan are just that fun team in cricket that every other tournament, they will turn up. That's just been their branding, and it kind of is the overall narrative. So my question was that, does the T20 World Cup in 2024 count?
No.
Okay, so if that is a no, then I will go disagree. Because I do think India will win one more before Pakistan does. But Pakistan, like, how long can you keep them out of an ICC event, right? So yeah, I mean, I feel like 2 might be a bit of a stretch, but 1 for sure, which is why I'm going agree. Let's not go strongly agree, let's go agree. I think that's somewhere in the middle, right?
I'll go strongly agree. I generally think Pakistan will definitely be there and thereabouts in terms of the semi-finals. But I generally feel India could win this competition. So they'll have one in the kitty. And then they'll go on to win the 2027 WTC. I generally feel that.
Quite honestly, I wasn't even considering the World Test Championship because I don't think Pakistan will make the final anytime soon. Although they do have a tendency to surprise. But a lot needs to go right for Pakistan for them to make that final, let alone lift the mace. They're either terrible or they are proper contenders. So I feel like one of these tournaments, there's one every year, it's bound to happen at some point.
Fifth statement, and more importantly, this is the one I wanted to ask you and the fans in the chat. India and Pakistan should play more bilaterals against each other. Strongly agree, disagree, agree, strongly disagree. Where do you stand?
It's always going to be a strongly agree. I've grown up on India-Pakistan cricket. I've gone to the stadium to watch India versus Pakistan. And, you know, each time I did that, I think it was a couple of times in the early 2000s when these tours were quite frequent, you'd end up meeting so many people from India. And I don't know what it's like in India, but whenever India has come to play in Pakistan, the crowd really cheers for the opposition team. And it's quite a spectacle. And I feel like it'll just be healthy for the sport if these two teams play against each other more. And sport does transcend boundaries and borders. So I would, of course, like to see more and more of these games. And quite honestly, Avanish, I think it's a trick missed by the BCCI because if they were having test series regularly in this little period when they weren't having test series, India would have won an awful lot. So there's that as well. And there should be more of it. I feel like it's a great shame that we haven't seen any India-Pakistan bilateral cricket since what? Early 2013, right? If I'm not wrong?
Absolutely. And, you know, you said something at the top of this statement, the fact that we've grown up watching India-Pakistan, right? And I don't want y'all to guess our ages in the chat, but basically, there was only that 4-year period from 99 to the 2003 World Cup where post-Kargil, where there was just a little animosity which was heightened. But then pre that, there was always the Sharjah series. Post that also, we saw some of the Abu Dhabi, Dubai ODIs, which started off at that point in time, 2006, the DLF Cup and so on and so forth. So I completely agree with you. I think sport is such a nation-building tool that we should actually try to see even a neutral venue to work it out. I understand why India would have their qualms to travel to Pakistan, and I don't want to get into that. Would you like that just to finish off? I mean, even if we don't play in each other's countries, we can at least play at the other iconic cricket stadiums world over.
I think that's probably the best real world solution to this, isn't it? You have a full blown tour in England and Australia, and that's kind of how you work around this. And of course, you make lots and lots of money. Imagine, like, forget a 5-test series, just a 3-match test series between both teams at a neutral venue. I feel like the competition would be a lot more riveting if you actually had it in England or South Africa or Australia. I feel like that would be a great leveler. The conditions would be a great leveler, I suppose. And yes, I mean, everyone wants to see it. So if someone's watching this from some powerful cricket body, then please make it happen.
Thank you so much for your time, Behram, and it's been a pleasure to get you on. We will look forward to having you on our Monday Night Live podcast as well, post the India-Pakistan aftermath. So we'll watch and see what happens in Dubai. But until the next time, so goodbye from us.
Yeah, cheers, and thanks for having me on once again, Avanish.
Cricket.